thought it was Dre on the thing. I was
know,
like, wait a minute.
Was that actually Dre? All right, welcome back. Another episode of All Hits. We're going to do an intro this time just because we're getting into the fucking swing of it now.
I know we're about to have like just 10 episodes in the tuck, no intro.
And then like even when we start dropping them, it's just like we just jump right into it. We're just fucking yapping right.
Let's just drop a double deluxe album of All Hits podcast.
Of All Hits podcast.
Just
it's like
all one.
a 10-hour long fucking one continuous episode.
Yeah, and then we'll wait 5 years to drop another episode.
Drop it in
like
secret.
all these other, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
The secret unannounced drop?
The podcast aura, bro. Imagine people were like, when All Hits was dropping, dude, it was the good times. They haven't dropped a podcast in years.
We'll do because I'm sure they have a podcast. I could have sworn, what was it, like Complex, that had like some kind of podcast. Like, you know how they usually just get artists, but they now they're starting to kind of get podcasters on like the stage too.
Oh, really?
To just do like live pods like real quick.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's not like as prevalent, but it's kind of becoming a thing.
Yeah, more of a thing.
We'll do that like and just not show up, a la Frank Ocean. Like let's
we have
like,
a whole crazy podcast stage and we just don't pop out.
We're just gonna build all this aura around our pod, but just not drop.
Yeah, we have like the greatest podcast run in history for 1 year, and then we never come back. Like they're like, damn, what happened to them? They had the best takes ever.
We'll just post a bunch of pics of us recording.
Of us in the studio.
We'll
working on another podcast.
We'll do when Kendrick first announced Mr. Morale, it was like you click the folder and there was like 30 files in that shit.
Yeah.
We're gonna go crazy.
We'll just have like podcast leaks too, like just clips of episodes.
Like 30-second, 45 5-minute clips.
Listen to this podcast leak, dude. This episode would have been a banger.
hey, this is for the future. You never know. Like, I'm not saying
we're on some other shit,
but that is kind of crazy. Just building the aura around the whole thing,
around the podcast. Could be like, I can't even fucking process albums anymore. All Hits isn't talking about it.
That's crazy.
That's fucking nuts, dude.
Hey, low key, it sounds like a joke, but you never know. It could be something.
You think Joe Rogan is the Michael Jackson of podcasts?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like the one who did it first and did it the biggest, huh?
Yeah, and even for a while, I think that one, the Call Her Daddy shit was number one.
Oh, yeah, she's still up there, too.
Yeah, but, I mean, obviously it's not, like, on my algorithm or whatever, so I never see it. But I'm like, I never see it. Versus you always know who's on Joe Rogan that week. Yeah,
Rogan's always
like,
doing something.
Always know.
It just, like, took over, like, late night TV and talk radio and stuff, which is fire. But having, like, rap star status as a podcaster, you know what I mean?
Dude, and he's killing the game. And he made it, I think he made it famous, to be honest, more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the first podcasts I was listening to be real.
Every now and then, I don't watch every single Rogan episode.
Yeah, it gets like, they're all 3 hours long.
Dude, they're mad long.
If it's somebody I'm really interested in, I'll check it out. But, like, I'm not just going to throw on random people.
I think what makes him great, too, though, is that, like, he is equally as invested in who he's bringing on as, like, you know what I mean? Like, versus just having somebody on for the sake of it. He gives back. It's like a good back and forth all the time. So that's what makes it so good.
Yeah, for sure. Well, shit, but let's get into it, dude. We have business to discuss. Yes. You fucking actually made it to the pop out, dude.
Oh, man.
You popped out. You popped out.
Dude.
And that was kind of like a surprise turn of events. I'll never forget that you were like, I have news for you, bro. I'm texting this guy because we're planning on doing like a stream party or whatever for the Amazon thing. And so I'm texting him trying to organize, and he's like, well, actually, I got tickets.
Yeah, I had to go, dude. I had to go. It was just something in my gut told me, like, this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
And your gut was, like, right as fuck. Like, I honestly regret not just sending it, pulling the trigger on it. I feel like it would have been worth it no matter what I paid.
I think just in, like, the history of rap, it might end up being, like, a top, like, 5, just, like
event in general.
Ever.
Yeah, especially for LA, dude. Like, the amount of people that came out, I was shook.
Starting from the beginning, it started early, which was weird. I wonder if this is, like, one of the earliest concerts ever to not be, like, a festival.
And I wonder what that was. Like, what that was about. Like, why they did it so early.
I don't know if it was because it was a fucking holiday. I don't know if it was because something to do with Juneteenth.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but it was interesting that it didn't start on time though. It started at 5.
Like an hour late, yeah. But still, it ended at 8. You know, like,
it was still
a short concert.
Very short.
My impression, because they didn't drop the lineup or the set times till like the day of. So when they announced that it was at 4, I was like, damn, this is gonna be like a 7-hour long event. You know, like I figured he wouldn't come on till like 9 or 10.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. When the show was delayed, like when it took a while to start, I was like, oh, then this is probably gonna run an extra hour. I mean, originally though, it did say it was gonna end at 7 no matter what, and it went till like 7:45 ish. I want to say is when it was over. But dude, honestly, the whole thing was fucking perfect. Starting from the DJ headset, having E40 narrate the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Even like the little commercials in between, like were super well thought out.
Had you heard of DJ Head before?
Never.
Yeah, me either.
And until the beef, because he was like one of the accounts.
He was coming out. And
I was following.
He was on like Axe podcast too, talking about it and shit.
Yeah, I mean, clearly he's a pretty big dude in LA. DJ wise,
I had never known, bro.
Never heard him. Never heard of him.
I was surprised by the clown too, when they brought that clown out, and then I was like, oh, it's like there's like some historic LA context to this.
Yeah, like some like LA dance crew or whatever.
Like,
probably some old school shit.
I was like, that's tight.
It was all really cool. That part obviously was like, it's like the fucking intro. So
yeah,
but everybody that he brought up on stage, like obviously I wasn't familiar honestly with like half of the people that came on. I had heard of like Blue Blux Clan. Through Dono actually, and they were actually pretty cool.
Everybody who came out killed it though.
They did.
Even though I had never heard any of those dudes, it was like just, and it's cool because they're all obviously local LA dudes, and like whether they're how big or how long they've been around, like they all came out and like did their thing, and I thought that was fire. Yeah,
and then once it got to Mustard Set was when like obviously shit picked up right away.
Yeah,
I forgot how many hits Mustard had, bro.
Dude, hundreds.
Especially once Ty came out. I forgot how many hits they had together.
He ran the entire scene for like two years.
Yeah, then it just made me remember, like, damn, I forget how many of these songs started with "Muzza on a beat." Ho, I'm like, oh fuck. Like,
there was a period of time where like you had to have a Mustard beat, you know, like it was just like inescapable. Like T.I. got on Mustard beats, like everybody, and if you didn't have the Mustard beat, you had somebody produce like a Mustard style beat, you know, like "I'm So Fancy" and shit. You remember that?
Yes.
Like that wasn't Mustard, but
dude. So shout out Mustard though. Like I didn't realize like how big of a legend Mustard was.
For real, yeah.
Like I don't know. It just put everything into like a perspective. I was like, shit, we had a legend here this whole time, and I totally forgot.
Did you know that Ty taught him how to produce?
Ty did?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Until he said so because that's how he introduced him, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
He was like, "You taught me how to make beats, so this is the first beat that I made for you, or whatever."
Didn't expect Ty. That was one of the ones that surprised me was Ty.
Dude, same.
Why
didn't I expect him? Why didn't I expect Dom? Like for Mustard Set, like half the people that came out, I was like, "Damn, this was hella obvious. Why didn't I think about this?"
I feel like I told you I thought Dom would be coming out.
You probably did, but
that was like, one that I was like, yeah, we'll see Dom. He was big. I think we talked about this on another episode, but Dom was so big.
Yeah.
At a certain point.
And you said you were never really into him, huh?
Never into him, but I knew everybody. Like a lot of my friends were big fans of Dom.
Yeah, like he was my favorite for a while, bro.
But especially being here in Southern California, like he was big. Bro.
Yeah, he was the
songs
one.
Were everywhere.
He was like Larry June before Larry June.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, he was like the dude, like the coolest guy on the scene. Like everybody fucked with what he had. He was like more the low key guy.
Yeah.
And then he kind of started making weird shit after a while, but he still has dropped something cool every now and then.
It completely missed me that Ty was from LA though. Like I completely forgot that Ty was from LA.
$?
Yeah.
Really?
I forgot he was from LA.
That's crazy.
I totally forgot he was from LA.
Yeah. And I think that it's crazy, like, when you, like, these guys get to, like, a certain level of fame, it does kind of get, like, you lose kind of where they came from a little bit. And not, like, in a they're not down with their roots type shit, but just, like, they're so everywhere and making... Especially Ty, like, works with everybody. Like,
that's why
he's on every song.
And he's such a behind the scenes guy sometimes too that I totally like. It just missed me.
Yeah,
that he was from there. Didn't expect to see Tyler or Steve Lacy either.
Dude, yeah, the Tyler, like, Cameron had texted me right before he came
that shit
out.
Blew up.
He was like, "Bro, imagine fucking Tyler pops out, boom!" Like, came out right after that text.
And what's crazy with Tyler too is that his songs that he chose for that day in particular. I wouldn't say. I mean, I guess Earthquake is one of his
It's his biggest song.
Is it his biggest song?
Yeah.
I don't know, like the style that he chose. I'm like, damn, that's how you know, like, everybody fucks with Tyler. Because this is, like, a more, obviously, like, not raw hip-hop show, but
yeah,
fucking West, at least up until that point, too, is more of, like, a, West Coast bangers and shit.
Yeah.
And then he's playing, like, What's Your Name and Earthquake, and everybody knew all the fucking lyrics.
Crazy,
bro, that
dude.
shit exploded. That was, like, the first real big...
Like, the big, like, pop
big
where
pop.
everybody, like, freaked the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I heard that come on, because I was, like, chilling outside for a bit, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, no way.
I saw this tweet. It was funny. It was like, oh, they even got their, like, all demographics covered. We got Tyler and Steve up in there.
Yeah, all bases covered on that one. That's crazy, dude. So, like, was that your first kind of, like, wow moment at the show? When Tyler came out?
It was, yeah. And I had already seen Ty come out at that point, but when Tyler came out, I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, well, I just had no
Because you
expectation.
kind of expect people like YG and shit to come out.
Yeah. And then when Ty came out, though, was the first indicator that I'm like, oh, LA, like LA. And then when Steve and Tyler came out, I'm like, oh, LA. Because the one surprise, one of the things that did surprise me about the whole night was not seeing Keem.
Yeah, I remember like telling you that, and I didn't piece it together until you were like, yo, I kind of realized halfway through that this is strictly an LA show. Like, you're not coming out if you're not LA.
Mm-hmm. And that's serious, bro, because, I mean, that's his cousin. You know, they make so much music together.
Yeah, you have, like...
I think, I'm
some
pretty
of your
sure...
biggest songs in recent memory feature that guy.
Yeah, Vegas or Chicago, so he didn't get on that stage, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, like, it was just insane. He did Like That without Future, which that's another one that I was, like, 100% sure was going to show up.
Same. Like, I thought it was interesting when he didn't come out, and that Metro wasn't there either.
But back to like the sequential events. Fucking when YG came out, huge pop. Might have been bigger pop than Tyler's.
Yeah, and that's crazy too because like YG is super expected from DJ Mustard and Friends Set. You know, like that's his like biggest friend, I would say.
Yeah, I guess the only reason I would have like a small doubt was because well, honestly, it's because of the whole beef thing. Because when Drake mentioned him, so I was like, oh, but no, it was.
And that was like a nail in the coffin moment because everybody was like, okay, like he's shouting out YG, and YG kind of had that song where it was like almost like dissing him.
We just weren't sure, but we know what it was.
Yeah, and then now he's at the Kendrick show. It's like, okay, we know what's going on.
Dude, YG, dude, another legend, straight up.
Straight up,
certified legend.
He's one of those dudes that like on his come up, like he seemed like he wasn't gonna go anywhere. And then he had his like breakout album and it was a fucking banger, and then just like nonstop hits from that point forward. You know, like I was listening to him the other day, like the amount of hits that dude has is crazy.
Yeah, I was playing My Crazy Life the other day, and I was like, dude, like half of this album is just like all songs you heard everywhere.
Yeah, all the time, like at every party. Yeah, those two are a dynamic duo for sure, bro. Like bring down the house with those guys.
YG was just such a big part of high school for like everybody, and I wasn't like a huge like I didn't go out and party all the time.
Yeah,
but the couple times I did, like you always heard a YG song, dude.
Yeah, you couldn't escape it. Like I was in college at the time, but like every party you had to play YG or have YG on or something like that.
It was another funny ass tweet. It was like YG is like Jay-Z for the Mexicans. That's because the Mexicans love YG, bro.
That's so true, dude. That's crazy.
But it's because shout out YG. He's always like repping the Mexicans. Like he always like drops little bars in his songs. He loves the Mexicans. We love him too. Shit.
Yeah, I'm sure he grew up around tons of them. You know what I mean? LA is like equal parts black and Mexican, I feel like.
Yeah. So that shit was just tight. It was so tight. And I think he closed it out. I think he was the last one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Roddy was cool too when Roddy came out.
Oh yeah, that was hard. I forgot that they had that Ballin' song together.
Yeah, and like I told you a couple weeks ago, perfect time for any LA artist to drop music because now I don't know if you saw they're both dropping albums soon.
Oh, both
like
those
literally
guys?
Within the next couple weeks.
Damn, because I saw that Mustard dropped with Travis.
Yeah, which I still didn't hear. You
haven't listened to it.
You still said it was okay.
I wasn't stoked on it, but
yeah.
Again, like I don't know. I feel like Mustard kind of like calls for a more like organic sound.
Yeah, and Travis,
Travis is hard as fuck, but I feel like his best pocket is like psychedelic shit. You know what I mean? Like dark tone psychedelic shit. And so when he's on kind of like a Mustard beat, it's just like something about it clashes for me.
I agree. That's why, in my opinion, this is like a super sidetrack, but the Schoolboy Q Travis song on
Chopsticks.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite.
I like Chopsticks a lot, but a lot of people told me that they didn't. Yeah,
it didn't go together. I feel like I don't know if it was a beat or something. I just didn't.
Yeah.
And those two in theory should work because Schoolboy Q is great over most beats really, but especially a psychedelic just kind of beat.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't love that.
I'm like trying to remember the hook right now.
Chopsticks. Chopsticks. You got the chopsticks.
That's exactly it.
But yeah, so they're both Roddy and YG are dropping soon. YG's actually going on tour, and his last show is here in SD.
Oh shit!
Like last show of the tour. Yeah, bro. They love him down here, dude.
Soma?
I don't know. I'm
sick of Soma.
I won't be there though. I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't go.
Whoever's booking all these big artists in SD, stop booking them at Soma, bro.
Straight up,
fuckers, dude.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go to a YG show. Like I'd have to be in seats, low key, and I just rather. I don't know. I don't think I fit the demographic of a YG show.
Hey, but tell me about Kendrick's set list because like it was kind of what I expected and kind of not, and like as like a fan, obviously, like I love hearing the shit that he's already played. But, like, obviously everybody wanted to hear the diss songs, and I think it was cool that he ran through every single one, except Meet the Grams.
He opened with Euphoria. That was there was no other way to do it. No other way to do it.
Because, like, where else would you have placed that song? You know, like, you had to open with it. Like, that's, like, kind of, like... That kind of, like, set the tone for, like, this is a victory lap, bro. You know, like, I'm going to open with the shit that started it all, and then I'm going to finish with the shit that killed you.
And it was proof that he was standing on business, too. Like,
yeah.
Because there was little, like... internet like shit. It's like not rumors, but just people were speculating that maybe he was just gonna do his thing. I didn't. I'm like, there's no way he's doing this show without playing that song.
Yeah, 100%.
That they're like, oh, maybe he just wants to step away from that and like make it all about peace. And he did, but he wasn't shying away from this shit. Like,
yeah, I think it's like that's what's dope about Kendrick is like he, like you said, he stood on business. Like he was really like. Look, like, I don't fuck with this guy, and I still won. So, like, I'm going to celebrate that fact, but also, like, let's bring people together from this victory, you know? It wasn't like, the show wasn't like the fuck Drake show, you know? Yeah. I think that would have been kind of strange, and doesn't really seem like Kendrick, but, like, to be like...
He only ever mentioned anything to do with Drake, obviously, when he was playing the records, and the one time he kind of paused, and it was like, oh, y'all ain't gonna let him disrespect our legends, huh?
Yeah.
That was like the only time that he really like took a shot at him.
Yeah.
And everything else, but set list wise, I feel you know what? It seemed very similar to the Mr. Morale show.
It did.
Minus the Mr. Morale songs, oddly enough.
I was just gonna say, there was not a single Mr. Morale on there?
So I really think that a lot of, and not everything, because obviously he played like good Kid, Mad City tracks, but I think a lot of those songs were like little Easter eggs. And to be fair, I thought this before I saw this, but they kind of covered this on Flagrant with Andrew Schultz.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, where Akash was saying that, or it was Andrew Schultz, one of the two was just saying that he put a lot of those songs on purpose because he's talking to Drake.
Yeah, that's kind of what I started to realize like after, because I was like, okay, there's no Mr. Morale tracks. Like he obviously loves that album a lot, and there's a lot of dope songs on there. Like, but there's also some songs on there that I feel like he could have thrown out, like Father Time or something like that.
Well, the one that I feel like would have been perfect for the environment that we were in would have been
Savior.
Why am I blanking? No, what? Yeah, that would have been that actually would have been a great one. And then the other one, I'm blanking on the name. I popped the pain away, I sighed the pain away, I popped the pain. What, Blast?
Oh yeah. I hope I'm not too late.
That would have been a great song to play there, just because it's a very like peaceful song. It's a happy song and shit. So I think because DNA and Element especially. I think Element's like all about Drake. Now that I'm like going back and looking at it, it has a lot to do with Drake.
Yeah, and he did it, bro. He made it look sexy, bro.
Yeah, and then the other tracks, I mean, that I can remember him playing, DNA. He said there's some hoe shit inside of your DNA, or there's a specific line. I'm like, oh, maybe that's another one. Obviously, King Kunta.
Yeah, seems very
the Ghost Rider shit.
Yeah.
And then on top of that
people were screaming that part, dude. They're like, I'm rapping with a Ghost Rider.
Yep, exactly. So I think a lot of those tracks were made on purpose. And I think the more good Kid Mad City aspect of the show was, Well, obviously Money Trees, J-Rock, which I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
And then I feel like he played a lot of those songs because it's very LA. I think that's his most LA album.
Oh, for sure, because it's all based in Compton. Like, it's just his growing up.
So I
in
think
Compton.
that was the reason for the set list being the way he...
that it was structured.
Yeah.
Because he barely played any To Pimp a Butterfly either. Like, he only did All Right.
Yeah, and he didn't play Family Ties.
Yeah.
He didn't do, obviously, No Baby Keem, but so he didn't do Family Ties. He didn't do Hillbillies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Butterfly, he could have played, he played All Right, but he could have played, I'm thinking of one more song.
Oh, no, he did King Kunta, I'm tripping.
Yeah, King Kunta, he did King Kunta and All Right, but he also, he could have done
Yeah.
another song that's like a good, feel-good song. So I feel like he was very strategic.
I think it would have been obvious, too, like, because I've read things that You Ain't Gotta Lie could be kind of directed at Drake, too, but I actually saw another clip now that I'm thinking about it of him saying he wrote that song to himself. There was they're like, what did you write? You Ain't Gotta Lie. Who were you thinking of when you wrote that? And he's like, myself. It's like a rapid fire interview.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I was like kind of thinking that, but yeah, like as I thought about it later, I was like, yeah, this set list was like very specific, and it was like the hits, but it wasn't like all the hits either, because it's like they weren't all of his biggest songs, or he would have played like All the Stars.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was interesting that he played King's Dead too.
I did too.
That was hard.
I think he was also trying to give, and
he gave J-Rock probably the most set time of all the Black Hippie.
He was trying to give him the most shine, and then on top of that, he didn't play his own verse off of King's Dead, and his verse on that shit is fucking fire. One of his more underrated verses. That shit's a fire verse.
Yeah.
Fire verse.
Probably just a time constraint, to be real.
Yeah. So I think he really did. I think he was very strategic on his set list. I think he tried doing his best to throw little Easter eggs in there, along with just doing like a LA thing.
Yeah, like running his shit back and being like... Yeah, the Pac fit was interesting because when he first came out...
That was totally intentional, too.
Yeah, because I was like, damn, like, the red hoodie is really random. Like, when he first came out, before I saw all that, I was
the white
like,
Nike Shocks.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, you gotta be hot in that shit, bro. Like, he's gotta be fucking sweating his dick off, you know what I mean?
I know, on the Joe Budden podcast, he was like, I was impressed that, one, his hoodie never fell off.
Yeah.
That the Beijing never sweated off. I was like, that's crazy.
Oh, man. Yeah, so that's crazy, bro. So, like, being there, what was it like when you came out?
It was surreal, dude.
Yeah.
Just opening to Euphoria, watching... That's a 6-7 minute track.
Yeah.
And with no hook. Just watching everybody know, like, the majority of those lyrics.
Yeah.
And it sounds great when you... Because I watched the playback on Amazon, on YouTube, which I'm waiting for Amazon to throw that shit up because I want to watch the full thing. But it was... I feel like even the video doesn't do it justice how loud it really was in there.
Dude, that's what I was imagining. I was like, the only thing that I feel like is not going to be dope about this stream is that, like, you're not going to get the, like, aura of being in the fucking crowd and having everybody just be so juiced, you know? When we went to the Mr. Morale tour, bro, and he played Money Trees, it was like an ethereal moment, bro. Like, it was like we were floating because it's like you could see, like, he had that box, like, right above him and shit. Man. And it's like when the hook came on, when he's like, and that's just how I feel, it's like the lights shone, like, across the stadium, and you could see all the other people getting hyped to it. And it was just like, oh my God, this is sick as fuck.
Hey, is that his best song?
I've talked about this with you before, I think. And I would say that it's his best song.
I think it's his best song.
I think that's a heavy topic, obviously, because he has so many great songs. But I think in terms of just, like, a completely classic record, like, flawless front to back, beautiful feature, we can kind of get into that right now, too.
God.
The beat is one of the best beats of all time. Like, we got to shout out Dahi.
Shout out Dahi.
Like, that's an insane flip, dude.
And having just, like, the wherewithal. I, like, loved watching his video behind the thought process of making this. You've seen his breakdown where he's doing the 3 tracks. Just the fact that he didn't want to slice it. He didn't do anything except reverse the fucking sample.
Yeah.
He was like, less is more. Perfect.
And that's, like, I feel like quintessential Kendrick in that he's doing, like, a funny little cadence. He's making it catchy. He's talking about real shit. He comes with a fucking super thoughtful hook. Like, it's just, like, all-encompassing, in my opinion.
And you can play that song, honestly, at any moment.
And everybody loves it. That's one song that I don't think anybody is like, nah, fuck that song.
Yeah, and I'm ready to stand on this one straight up. I've thought it for a while, but watching it live, because I got to see them do this shit at the TDE show, but it was like at the Chula. I don't really like that venue, the Chula Vista shit. I feel like it's just chill, casual. Like if you're I
I
feel
feel
like
Sleep Train.
yeah, Sleep Train.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's a cool spot to go to if it's like, oh fuck it, like let's go to a show today, like
Yeah.
why not? But it's just like it's a chill venue, but it's very whatever. Watching that shit there, it just reaffirmed like, yeah, this is the greatest feature of all time.
Dude. And I was enamored with J-Rock's breath control, bro. Because on King's Dead, he was fucking spitting that shit and didn't leave a word out. Sometimes that could be my only gripe with Kendrick, is that he leaves a lot of words out.
He does leave a lot of words out.
But he's like spitting, so it's like he's got to have breath control. You know, I understand that. But like, J-Rock was like every fucking word, like hitting every bar, like just going absolutely insane. But the Money Trees feature, dude, is definitely like top 5 feature of all time.
Yeah, I can't think. The only other feature for my personal liking is Rick Ross, Devil in a New
I was
Dress.
just gonna say that's top 3 too. Like those two are top 3 for sure.
And I would never think that I would say a Rick Ross feature is like my.
That's one of the
my
best verses ever, bro.
So good.
Low key, like he just came.
I don't
on
even
this-
know what the fuck he's talking about, and it just sounds so cool.
What do you mean you don't know what he's talking about?
Yeah, like I feel like it's a lot
I feel
of
like
rich.
it's pretty cut and dry.
It's a lot of no, I know, but he's like talking about like rich shit that I can't relate to
Oh,
at
I get
some
what you're
points.
saying, yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't even know, but it sounds so fire.
These are like Rick Ross.
He's just making it
isms, you
sound,
know?
yeah, and I'm just like, it just sounds so fucking good.
Yeah, dude, he's
and
just
it's so
fucking
fucking
slid on that shit, man. And there's like a grip of dope features. Like I'd probably have to go through my Spotify to like find the other ones, but I'm trying to think of like just off the top, like what are the top aside from those two, because those two are like very, very obvious.
Mind you, we're gonna leave out a lot of old shit that we probably like have no like real recollection of. By the way,
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
90s shit
like-
that were so fuck you, whoever's listening, and if you're offended by it, fuck you.
And
like-
that's it, bro.
But I guess in recent, like I guess if we're going like 2000s on shit that I can remember, like I think I don't know if it's a top 5 feature ever. I do think Kendrick's feature on fucking Goosebumps is like up there too.
Dude, and I didn't like that verse, dude.
You don't like his Goosebumps verse?
I didn't. I don't know
No.
why, bro. But a picture of my horse. Like, I just didn't fuck with
It
it.
might have
I
been the
know.
shock value for me that I just.
That pussy to die for. Like, he was going crazy.
Okay, okay. What's your favorite Kendrick feature?
Meet the Glazers. Bum, bum,
Bum,
bum.
bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum.
My favorite
This really
Kendrick
isn't it.
feature,
We'll go back to the country in a second. I just have to get this out of the
Hair
way.
Down, is up there.
Pretty birdie bitch or numerologist.
I love that fucking verse. No sense. Man, he's been on so much shit. You know, Like That is up there now.
Oh, well, yeah. I almost forgot. Like,
Yeah, you're like, wait, that's not his song. Like,
no, I know because it feels like it.
It does. Yeah, he totally took that shit
No
over.
disrespect to Metro and Future, but it does feel like it.
I'm also fucking. My memory's so shit, dude. I'm like,
Off the top of my head, like one for me that I feel like I know most of the verse is "What's Wrong with Isaiah Rashad."
oh yeah, that's a fire verse. I actually love fucking Problems too.
Collard Greens, which I love that I got to see that live.
Dude,
That was
I'm
one of
glad
my-
that they played that shit. That's
That was
so
one of my
sick.
favorite fucking tracks in like 8th grade.
Dude, it's just like a classic record. Getting back to the show, bro, I feel like what I understood about the show when they announced it is that like I knew that you guys were gonna get something that like nobody's really gonna get ever again. You know, like you're getting to see the diss songs for the first time. You're getting to see like Collard Greens be performed with Schoolboy. You're getting Money Trees with J-Rock. Like how often does that happen? Like almost
Dude,
never.
I mean, it
you
might
know?
never happen again.
That's what I mean. Like scheduling and stuff like that. Like, is he gonna play 616 at other shows? Like, and I don't know why.
I don't think the 616 song will ever get played again.
Yeah,
it's not even
like-
on streaming.
Did you have like a half second of belief that Meet the Grams is gonna happen?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. When he started with Euphoria just off the bat like that,
Yeah.
I just automatically started puzzling and I was like, oh, is he gonna like do them in order? Because then he
Yeah.
did 616. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah, we could get Meet the Grams. At
But-
what point would you think it would have fit? He would have had to do it exactly like how it happened, huh? He would have had to stop like with like after Dre, like have him leave, it gets dark or whatever, and then he does Meet the Grams.
That would have been evil.
And then everybody's all fucking weird, and then boom, fucking Not Like Us comes on and he plays it 5 times.
So what do you think is more likely, that he wanted to do it and was advised not to, or he just chose not to do it because it wasn't going to fit the vibe of the show?
I think Kendrick's really good at reading crowds, bro. I think that we could see that in like the Mr. Morale tour. Like he didn't do Mother I Sober. He didn't do what's the song called? The one about his aunt.
Oh, Auntie Diaries.
Auntie Diaries, yeah, he didn't do that. Like he knows, you know what I mean? I feel like he's like, okay, like these are definitely songs that don't do well at a concert.
You know what song I'd want to hear him play if he ever did a solo? Oh, and he will do a solo tour again, obviously at some point. I've seen every song by Kendrick that I love except "Sing About Me."
Oh yeah.
I know that's not really like a concert track. I did see. The only reason I say this is I saw a video of him playing it. I don't know where he played it.
Yeah.
But I'd want to hear "Sing About Me."
It would be incredible to have like a Kendrick like unplugged set, you know, like almost like a tiny
the old
desk.
MTV. Yeah.
But like just him doing like more of his slow cuts. Like I wish artists would do that more because there's so many songs from artists that don't get played because they don't match in like a high energy environment, you know?
Yeah. The "Sing About Me" sample is so crazy too. You ever seen the
Dude.
remake of that? That shit's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's super fire, bro.
Anyway, sorry, I keep fucking sidetracking. But that when Ab Soul came out for 616 in LA, I don't know what it was, but that shit was like kind of emotional. And then even seeing like the video again afterwards,
Where
like
they're
when
like
it's
helping
zoomed
him
up.
across the stage and shit.
Yeah, and then just seeing him up close and like he has his hand on him and like it would just
Yeah.
seem very personal.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a really dope. Like that might have been one of my favorite moments.
Yeah.
Like the 616 in LA, and also further reminded me of how fire that song was and how fire that
Dude.
verse is.
I'm so mad that it's not on Spotify because that song is just like, even when I first heard it, like when it first dropped, I was like fucking lit as fuck because obviously the moment, but also just because the song was so good and he made it like a song and then he was like, okay, now let's get to the Drake part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was interesting that he didn't play that part, you know, like the second half, but obviously intentional. You know what I mean?
There's a reason for it for sure. And then back to I forgot to mention this earlier. It kept escaping me. Even during the intermission when we were switching over from Mustard to Kendrick,
Yeah.
he played Stan.
Yeah.
Out of all Eminem songs, he chose
I know.
Stan.
I peeped that too. I was like,
There was a reason for it,
Yeah.
for sure. And then a Millie was next.
yeah.
And then he finished off with an Outkast song that I'm blanking on right now, but
Yeah.
it was an Outkast song. And I'm like, there's something, I know that there's a reason why he did. And I hate overanalyzing.
But it's just like the most random
It's just
bunch
too
of songs.
random. It's too random.
It's not like modern stuff getting played. It wasn't even LA stuff getting
I mean,
played.
a Millie, I've heard a Millie actually get played at other
At concerts and stuff,
other
yeah.
places, like on DJ sets or intermissions.
Yeah.
But Stan was random as fuck.
Stan was random as fuck.
Random as fuck.
Because I thought the same thing. Like, I think the brief 5-second thought, too, was like, oh, shit, Meet the Grams might happen.
And the Outkast song was also random as fuck because it wasn't like, for sure, it wasn't like Rosa Parks or the Heart of Storytelling or whatever.
It was like Elevator or something, right?
It was something like, it was still a known song, but it wasn't like like one of their ones that like a
like
hit,
their bigger hits.
like the bigger hit. So it was. I wish I knew what the thought process was behind that.
Yeah, and like what that all meant.
So then, so Black
So yeah,
Hippie.
it had to be like sorry, just to finalize that thought.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it
no,
had to
I
be
was over here
intentional
jumping.
because it was just too random of songs. But I had that same thought too. Which also, dude, like I feel like the stream was so well done. Like I
Oh,
was kind of
dude.
worried that it was gonna be like. Cause did you ever watch the full concert of Mr. Morale on Amazon?
No, how was it? Not
I didn't
good?
watch it either.
Oh no!
So I was like, I didn't have any frame of reference to be like, is this gonna be tight or not? Like, I figured it would be cool, but
I had heard that because they did live stream for like all the Flog,
oh yeah.
except funny enough, I think except for the headliners.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah. So SZA and Kendrick were not, but I heard I had already seen some of it, but Tyler's set was like, I've seen Tyler's set on Amazon and it was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, that was good. I did see that too.
But dude, they fucking stepped it way the fuck up.
Yeah,
with
with the
this
multiple
one.
camera angles, with like
With the wop 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 shot, the cut shit
dude,
was
and the
crazy.
audio was crisp. Like we were bumping it like crazy in here, and it's like that's a hard thing too. Like I had this teacher at music school who like he would like get hired by DJs to go and record concert audio for like recap videos and stuff. And they like built their own microphone that like was like emulated like a head or something. that like hit almost like 360 audio, but then they would talk about like how they would have to mix in like enough crowd noise with the actual audio so that you get the feeling of being there.
Yeah.
Because it always sucks too when you're watching like a live stream. Like I've seen live streams of Post and shit too, where it's like you could hear them but you can't hear the crowd, so it just kind of sounds dead. You know what I mean? So it was cool that we got like some semblance of like what it was like to be there just by them doing a good job of production.
Yeah, dude. No, it was sick. I really think, I mean, obviously, super happy that I was there and I wouldn't trade it for anything. But if for any reason I wasn't able to make it, I would have been pretty happy watching the stream.
Like
too.
I think that I wouldn't have had as much FOMO if you didn't go. Like if all I saw was the stream and I didn't know anybody who went, I would be like, this was enough. But because you were there and I was like, damn, I could have been there too.
The other day I ran in, I've talked to like maybe 3-4 people that knew I was there and they're like, damn, you were there? And I was like, yeah. They're like, damn, like that's fucking cool. I'm like, yeah, that shit was tight. Like that shit was
I know, and that's just something that you'll have forever, bro. It's
dude,
like,
yeah, that shit's gonna sit with me for it's still sitting with me and it's been a week.
Yeah.
But
that's crazy, it's only been a week.
Yeah,
dude.
but then so after Black Hippie got off stage, I was a little bummed I didn't get to see one like just track with the 4 of them. Yeah. I thought that was gonna happen with Oxymoron, but shout out Kendrick, he just wanted to let Q rock. Yeah, and that was sick. I wonder if it was also partly because of Absol's like his vision and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, because I was like, why didn't Absol get to do a record? Like he just dropped an album last year, right?
Yeah,
and that album was hard.
Yeah, I think it might have to do with like his health, maybe. Yeah, I mean, I know he's like going blind.
I thought he's always been blind.
I think it even progressively gets worse though, because they did have to walk him out. You saw they had to like help him out. That, yeah. So I wonder if that might be a reason why. I don't know.
Because I remember he's always been blind, but I was like, okay, now Soul's gonna do something. I was kind of expecting like Hollandaise or something like that.
I don't know if I expected a Soul track, but I at least expected him to like rap with them. Yeah. Like I think Oxymoron probably would have been the song to do it, just because the song is so hard. But who knows?
Yeah. But or like some Black Hippie remix, like the You Don't Even Know It or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, that remix was so hard.
Yeah, that would have been crazy, Jesus Christ. Yeah, Q was going crazy though. I like got such a fucking huge level of satisfaction of seeing how much fun he was having.
He's always having fun, bro. Watching him dance to King Kunta was so fun. Going crazy. He was like fucking hitting that shit so hard as fuck.
Tell me about like what you thought about like all the people that were there, like in attendance, you know, because it was mad people there.
It was cool, bro. It was like heavy LA crowd, obviously. Well, obviously, but not obviously, because I mean, just the way how expensive these tickets were, how fast they sold out.
Did you see them there? Like, did you notice LeBron was there before you knew?
No, like, no. I didn't notice anybody was there until I got to see the screen even. Oh yeah, because you could see the screen too. I don't know if you like. Yeah. You saw the screen. You saw the way Amazon was doing shit. Yeah. But I had no clue. And it's crazy because there was SZA was in just out and about. DeMar was just out and about for a bit, I think too. So no, I didn't. But the people were cool, dude. It was just all good energy, to be honest. Like it was just great energy all around. Yeah. It was funny because there was like this little short Mexican dude in front of us, and that motherfucker, I mean, he was clearly from LA. Motherfucker was hitting all the N-words and
just
shit.
Throwing them out.
Nobody said shit. It was super funny. But my favorite part with him was Ogeezy came out. Is that how you say his name? Ogeezy?
I think so.
Yeah. And nobody, cheered like this motherfucker.
Really? He was going crazy.
He jumped out of it. She was like, oh! And all of us that were in the rows next to him were just kind of like laughing and shit. Cause that shit was comedy, bro.
Yeah,
he fucking popped out hard. Not to say that people didn't cheer. People did cheer, but at least in our area, really nobody gave a fuck. Yeah.
But he was fucking amped.
He was so lit for that shit, dude. So fucking lit.
That's dope though, dude.
It was funny as shit watching the two little kids. There was two little 8-year-olds, 2 rows in front.
That's crazy too.
With phones, fucking rapping all of Euphoria and
fuck.
And then when Humble was playing, he say sit down. They'd actually sit down and they'd get back up.
That's dope.
It was cute as fuck. That shit was tight. It was a great crowd, bro. Even leaving, I think I told you I was kind of not nervous, but I was like, oh, I wonder if something pops off or there. I mean, shit, people are drinking, whatever. Yeah. But nothing. Now it was all peace, all love.
That's fire, bro.
Yeah, watching him. I think it was the second time after he played or kind of played Not Like Us. it was one of those moments where everybody's just, I'm sure you've seen it at concerts before, especially like really good ones, where the crowd's just cheering.
Yeah.
And it just feels crazy. Like, dude, it feels big.
It felt like a Michael Jackson moment. Like, you know, when he's just like on stage and people are cheering like as loud as they can.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt from the stream too. I was like, bruh.
You're just in there and it's like a minute of just like applause and
so
shit.
What was like your initial reaction when he did the A minor thing and then stopped? Did you think it was going to cut back in?
I thought he was going to run it back ASAP.
I didn't think he was going to start the song over. I thought he was going to do like a pause and then boom, like go right back.
Oh no, I thought I had a feeling he was going to play it more than once.
Yeah.
Like the minute I got there, I had a feeling. I'm like, he's going to play it more than one time. 100%. I didn't think he was going to play it 5 times.
Yeah, 6, dude.
The way that my voice cracked the first time I tried holding the A minor, by the way,
really?
Fun fact. Yeah, bro. Everybody fucking held that shit for as long as they could, straight up. Like,
that was cool too, that it was like everybody just knew what to do. Like, they understood, you know. It was like he wasn't like, no, keep this going. He just did it and everybody kept it going.
He created so many little catchphrases off of that, dude, just because throughout the show in general, I mean, obviously not during sets, but when it would get quiet, bro, people would randomly just start saying "Ovi ho."
Yeah.
Like,
no, I heard that
in
shit
unison.
too.
Like, that shit was super fucking random. What else? Oh, I actually loved watching Like That live.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's a good song.
So cool, bro.
But I liked it like 10 times more than I thought I would like it. Like,
Yeah.
I knew it was gonna be cool. I didn't think I would enjoy it that much though, and I can't wait to see them actually do it together at some point. Hopefully,
I know, dude.
it was so sick watching him do the verse. Every time he yelled "bum" and they did like the fire, like the pyro and shit. So cool. Yeah,
it came on at a random point too. Like, I had almost forgot that was part of the mix.
Low-key had a perfect point because he was starting to go through his own catalog.
Yeah.
And then he did Like That. And I think after that's when he brought out Dre.
Yeah.
Which was fucking expected.
That was crazy too.
I think I told you, I was like, I see Dre or Snoop coming out 100%. I think Snoop was in Canada. He's touring right now, which is the main reason I think he wasn't there.
That makes sense, because at the time I was like, damn, Snoop, like, that's kind of whack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there was obviously, like, people were saying that it was intentional that he got left out because he was kind of straddling the fence.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm like, he didn't really co-sign anything, I guess. He just wasn't mad at it necessarily.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he probably would have been there if it weren't for the thing. And then Vince also was like, I think Mustard said, like, yeah, he's touring. If not, you definitely would have seen Black Magic.
Yeah, because I was like, because that's a huge song for Mustard now, too.
Yeah.
Is that fucking Magic song.
Yeah, which I also forgot he produced.
Great ass song,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah, so those were the two that weren't there that we were all expecting to. But yeah, and then once it got to Not Like Us, 100% did not expect Dre to do that shit.
Because like when he's like, you're not gonna say, I thought they were gonna like run another Dre song back.
I thought they were gonna do some NWA shit.
Yeah,
and they were gonna bring out Cubes for some reason. Yeah. I like got mixed up because I know it's Cube that usually says, Dre, you got something to say.
Yeah.
So then I don't know. Just when he said you don't have anything else to say, I was like, oh shit, are we getting like some NWA shit right now?
Yeah, I kind of half expected that too.
I was like, if Snoop's not here, maybe we get NWA. But
you know, like at most concerts, you're kind of like aware of the time. You're kind of like, oh, we're getting close. Like he'll probably play, he'll probably play his biggest song now. Like I didn't get that feeling at all. Like I had no idea where we were.
I had no idea either. I had no idea because, like I said, it started a little later than I thought. So then it just threw time off completely. I was
just like the order of things, like doing Money Trees so early. Like threw me off because usually that's one of his last songs.
Yeah, it's a closer.
Doing like, doing Euphoria first, doing Like That, like so I was just kind of like, I was like, ooh, like we're gonna get some more NWA shit. Like I was expecting more people to come out for Kendrick, but it makes sense that he was like, this is my show, bro. Like I'm popping out, I'm bringing my homies, but like I'm not here to like spotlight. That's what the other sets were for. Like I'm not gonna spend my whole set bringing people out.
Dude, 100%. The first 3 rounds of Not Like Us got progressively louder every time. Yeah.
That's one of those moments that like you just know how much of a banger it is because he knows he could just play it over and over and over and over.
And I don't know if you got to see this on the stream. Once it was all over, there was like a little section of the floor that was still going hard. It was like at least 20 heads.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they were like recording and they were like dancing and doing all this shit.
Nah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, but that obviously Not Like Us was a very, very special fucking moment.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Just to see that live for the first time following the dub.
And then just the way he ran it back and like, it was just, bro, it was funny. bringing up the dancers on stage and then bringing everybody on stage, unifying. When like no shit, I'm not from LA. I know nothing about gangs.
Yeah.
But you could just kind of feel it. Like you're like, oh shit, I'm watching like something pretty fucking special.
It seemed like pretty historic, like from what they were talking about and what I've heard other people say is that like this is like the first time that's ever happened where so many different sets and shit were like all together and like it was all love, you know?
Yeah, it was special, dude. It was you felt that shit in there.
Fucking incredible, dude.
Yeah, it was awesome. Wouldn't trade it for the world. My Kendrick glazing is at an all-time high.
Yeah, I know. Like, how do you go from?
I don't
here,
think it could get high. I don't think I could glaze this guy harder.
I know. That's what I mean. Like, and then imagine he just drops a shitty album.
No, he can, bro.
He's just too tight, bro. Like, that's just not a possibility, you know?
So post this, people keep saying he's gonna have pressure to deliver an album. Like, he doesn't have any pressure, I think.
I didn't think about it until, like, I think I saw an Academics clip on TikTok or something where he was kind of talking about, like, he's like, he either, like, heard it rumored or he was making an assumption, but, like, he's probably just gonna ride the high of, like, all the beef, you know what I mean? Like, he's winning. Not Like Us is obviously number one, doing huge numbers. So he's like gonna ride that, push the album back, drop it at a later point, because he probably did have an album slated for this summer. And I also think there is kind of like maybe the little fear of like, I want people to know that I didn't do this to promote my album.
Yeah.
You know, like this was actually like I had a problem with him and I wanted to prove a point, you know, it wasn't just to like get hype for my album, you know, so maybe like giving it a little bit of space, maybe dropping before end of the year, maybe sometime in fall would be fire. I was really hoping it would come out on 6/16, but.
Yeah, I did too. But I think, and it might have, Sterling, for all we know, it just, you know, shit changes, course of events, you know, are what they are. But I think we get an album this year, 100%. Yeah. We're getting the video soon.
Obviously, you were right about that shit too. Like,
I told you there was a video.
In my head, I was just kind of like, because it's like, I forget at the end of the day, it's a hit song, you know? It's hard to like not capitalize on the fact that you have a hit song, whether it's a diss song or not, you know?
And I do think if I had to take my best guess, it's going to be some kind of remix with it too.
Yeah.
And I think that goes on the album.
Yeah.
It's going to be either a black hippie remix or an LA remix, because he also had Roddy Ricch and YG were also at this video shoot.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a
you remember One Blood?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Some shit like that, maybe.
I used to love that song,
where there's
too.
like 10 verses, you know? Like, that'd be
I miss
hard.
that shit, bro. I used to love when people did that shit.
That shit was hard, bro. Like, when people would, like, all get on one track, like, One Train was hard, too.
Yeah,
like,
that's another little list I want us to come up with, like, favorite remixes.
Oh, dude.
With, like,
yeah, and they just don't do it like that anymore, bro.
Nah, dude. You know which remix was also hard back in the day? It was the Chris Brown Deuces. There you go.
Deuces.
They got like Kanye. They got Andre.
Yeah, Deuces was a hard remix.
Drake.
I totally forgot about that remix.
I hit you. I called you when I landed. That was one of my I used to love that verse when Drake started that.
Yeah,
shit.
they really don't do that
in
shit
my
anymore.
Hotel room. Yeah,
it's not likely that you get like a rap hit and then you get the rap hit remix.
And it's funny though, because that's such a missed opportunity, especially with the internet. Like,
you know who does do that still, or who did do that, was Lil Nas X. Like, he was.
Oh, really? With remixes?
You don't remember? Like, he did Old Town Road, then he did the Old Town Road remix with Billy Ray, and then he did the remix with like Young Thug, and then he did that with Panini too.
It's a smart move, dude. It's just, you know, keep the momentum going. So I think that's what happens. I think Kendrick drops a video, we get a remix, and then eventually we just get an album.
Yeah.
And then he wins a Grammy.
And do you think he's dropping the album just out of the blue, or do you think there's gonna be a rollout?
Nah, don't roll it out.
Yeah, just bomb that shit.
Or give us a day in advance. That's it. Give it a day. Be a big line of damn battery died.
On me?
Yes.
Damn.
Well, we're gonna sign off, but
yeah, we're gonna have to. Well, shit. This has been All Hits. Thanks for tuning in. Check us out everywhere.
Dear
Glazers.